Hey everyone, Mohammed Hijab continues to publicly humiliate himself, and now he's going to appeal the court ruling against the Spectator and Douglas Murray because £670,000 court bill wasn't enough for him, apparently. We're going to look at his latest coping session, which he just released last night on his YouTube channel. Let's take a look.
The court ruling, the Spectator court ruling.
That's right.
On Douglas Murray.
That's right. So I wanted to see,
Well, look, I mean, the thing is, I didn't expect it to go that way.
Then you are an idiot. How could you not expect it to go that way when you deliberately lie throughout the court case?
One, I was very disappointed, very disheartened with the ruling. However, when I researched the judge, with all due respect to him, he's a person who's represented, because obviously before judges do become judges, they have to become, they're barristers usually before that. And he's represented the MI6, I believe it is. He's actually...
Yeah, so what? He's represented MI6. What's that got to do with anything?
Been part of an inquiry called the Swede inquiry about torturing Iraqi victims, and he rubbished the claims. I mean, he decided that there was no credible evidence, in his words, that any...
Well, I don't know if this guy was involved as a barrister on that case. He's talking about something from about 20 years ago, this Al Swede case, where, yes, there were accusations that the British Army had been torturing and murdering Iraqi civilians, and they had an inquiry about it, and it turned out that they deemed the allegations false. Yes, there was some mistreatment, but apparently the witness statements didn't add up, etc., and it was thrown out. So what has that got to do with your court case?
Such torture was happening. So I don't believe he's a neutral person, and I believe his judgment was fraught with bias, and in fact...
Yeah, he seems to have had a bias against liars, which is probably a good thing for a high court judge. He's got a bias towards the truth. Well done to him.
In fact, some of the things that he mentioned in the judgment, bro, is absolutely off topic. Like he would say, "Oh, Mohammed Hijab is a physically imposing person." Okay.
Considering the case involved you going around intimidating people, going around trying to whip up mobs and essentially violence in the streets, your physical presence in those places is obviously a relevant factor. So it's probably why he brought it up. It's funny how this is the only detail you bring up about a court case. None of the stuff about you lying.
Something to that effect. He's physically imposing.
Well, that's got nothing to... complete lie.
No, but I mean, what place does such a comment have in a legal judgment? And he'll make things like, he's accusing me of lying in this instance, in that instance, in the other instance.
In every instance, basically. And it was demonstrable. I went through... Anyone who's not seen my previous video, I'll put a link in the description of this one and a link at the end of the video. I went through in detail in the court case, and I would have come to the same judgment based on that information. You were obviously lying over and over again, as were your witnesses.
When I was in this protest, when I was in Golders Green and stuff like that. And it is on issues which are interpretive. And he is...
Well, yeah, obviously that's why you have a court case, but clearly the most obvious interpretation is that you were there to whip up mobs. And in terms of the actual evidence produced, I think it's objectively true that you were lying.
I would call this jurisprudential overreach. Okay.
How the fuck is it an overreach? He's there to look at the evidence. That was the very basis of the case that you brought.
Where he's gone way further than what he should have gone. And I believe, honestly, bro, this is bias, and I think there's some kind of motivation, which I don't know what it is.
Yeah, the motivation is hopefully to make you learn a lesson. That number one, you shouldn't be going around trying to whip up mobs. And number two, you shouldn't be making frivolous court cases. And that £670,000 judgment against you was obviously a sign for you, which you haven't learned from.
But we're going to have to find out. I'm obviously appealing the judgment.
Yeah, I mean, you're appealing the judgment, obviously, because 670k isn't enough. You want to get it up to a 4 million, maybe, because this idiot, he will get additional costs added. And I'm sure the Spectator will go out and get the same expensive lawyers again, and you'll waste another few months doing an appeal, and then they'll put on additional court cases for you. So, yeah, get your debt up to 1 million. That's a really fucking clever idea.
I think that I made a mistake, and the mistake has been putting a bit too much trust in the justice systems in the West. Now, we've had...
No, your mistake was lying over and over again in a frivolous court claim that you brought. That was your mistake amongst many others in your life.
Victories. I mean, you would have remembered this very year, we overturned a victory, a ban to 26 Schengen countries, etc., etc. We've had victories.
All right, so when you have victories, the legal system is fair, and when you lose, it's because it's biased. Isn't that convenient?
We've even had settlements which we can't even speak about here. Many settlements which we can't even speak about because.
Well, if that's true, which I question whether it is true, I think you're just trying to save face here. But if that is true, that shows that you have made a habit of going around making frivolous claims against people, no doubt. That would be my interpretation of it. And finally, someone's just thought, fuck this, we're going to let the court case play out, and you lost. And good.
A part of the clause is not to speak about it. But it comes with the territory, bro. Like, you win some, you lose some. Yeah. You put yourself.
Yeah, you've been losing big time this year.
Out there, you know, you go to court. You've got a person like Douglas Murray. He's vociferously an enemy of Islam, and
you decide that he's an enemy of Islam. No, he's a critic of Islam, and he's a very harsh critic, as I am myself. As a lot of people are. It doesn't mean we're enemies of Islam. You make that because anyone you think criticizes Islam is your enemy. Whereas anybody else in any other religion, quite frankly, and also many other Muslims would just say, no, that's a critic of my religion. And they can take it because they're not children. You're the one who fucking designates people as an enemy because you can't take any criticism of your religious bullshit.
Enemy of the Palestinian people, someone who was sitting in Gaza, you know, when all this stuff was happening, he was given privileged access by Netanyahu and the IDF. Okay, I'm sorry.
What the fuck has this got anything to do with your court case?
Which for me kind of just tells you everything you need to know, to be honest with you.
Yeah, to be honest. You know, and bro, look, the other side, they had one of the strongest law firms in the country, which...
Yeah, you claim that. I mean, is this like whenever you talk about Dawkins or something, you say he's like the most important figure in the scientific community or something? You need to build up your opponents to pretend that it was like, oh, I had no chance, bro. Oh, I was up against the entire establishment. No, they hired, I'm sure, a decent legal firm, but I'm sure there are many others better out there. I mean, the Spectator is a relatively small magazine in terms of its viewership. So, again, you're just trying to big yourself up. You're trying to make it out as if it was like David versus Goliath. It wasn't.
Get RPC, which get around, I think, 170 million pounds revenue a year. We were operating on a no-win, no-fee arrangement.
Yeah, because let's be honest, you knew it was a pretty stupid lawsuit, and you were basically just trying to be an irritant. I think you understood on some level that you knew you weren't going to win. You just didn't factor in that you were going to get hit by massive court costs because of your constant lying.
And it is what it is, but that's not going to perturb us. In fact, in any event, if this happens again, we are now more equipped, actually. We've come out with a lot more learning experience from this, to be honest.
Yeah, I've got to say, if you need to learn through experience that you shouldn't lie with all your evidence and you shouldn't lie with your witnesses, then if you don't know that before you start a court case, you're a moron.
I have personally learned a lot more about UK law. It's the first time I was a witness, because that's what I was. I was a witness.
No, you were a claimant. They might have asked you to provide testimony, but you were still the claimant. You weren't a witness.
To this trial. It was the first time I was put in that position. I didn't understand how to deal with it in the proper way, but now I have a lot more experience. It's a complete...
Yeah, you didn't realise how to deal with it in a proper way, yeah. Arguing with a judge like you're a fucking speaker's corner. Again, you needed to learn that by experience. Sitting there munching on donuts throughout the trial, you needed to learn that that's not appropriate in a high court. Dearie me.
New forum. I mean, look. I mean, I've done many things in the last couple of years. I've done a professional MMA fight. You know, I've done multiple debates, multiple podcasts, and I've been in the courtroom.
Yeah, and you've lost all your debates, you've lost in the courtroom, and you also lost in terms of a certain hotel wife.
So I cannot and I will not win everything. And that's...
You won't win anything.
Just something that's part of
And I
life.
think even like if you look at the life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that there were even not every single battle was won, and that doesn't mean that he wasn't upon the haqq. Do you know what I mean? It just goes to show that you like as you mentioned, you win some, you lose some,
That's
and the losses, if you want to consider them losses,
Yeah,
are opportunities for growth and opportunities for learning.
it is. This
Yeah, but there is no learning opportunity here, because if you were really going to learn, you think, oh, that was a fucking stupid thing I did. Better not appeal and add a whole bunch of extra court costs when I inevitably lose. But you haven't learned that, have you?
is now like, I mean, subhanallah, the whole dawah sector has learned from this. Like, we have definitely looked at this case. We've looked at what we can and can't do in defamation, bro. Like, to be honest,
Yeah, one of the things you can't do is make shit up and expect to win.
the last 2 years we were on this case, and if I'm being honest, I have learned so much about defamation. So much, like what is defamation? What is it? What for something to be
I mean, how can you not know this stuff before you start a defamation case? Surely you do some basic research.
defamatory? What does it have to be? So I realized that there's two elements to a normal defamation case. There's the defamatory element, which this judge, to his credit, although he's completely biased in my opinion, and I will be appealing this this judgment and ruling, whatever.
Yeah, I mean, I really can't wait, because it just means another couple of months I get to do another video like this, taking the piss out of you because you now owe 750,000 in court costs.
He did say that what Douglas Murray said was defamatory according to common law. So there's that element. It's not enough though. And they defended on truth, and they defended on something called serious harm. Serious harm is where you have to prove that there was a reputational harm to you, and you have to prove that there was also like maybe a financial harm or a psychological harm, etc. But I did my own research, and I think that the reason the judge dismissed this particular case was not convincing. And the thing
Oh, it was convincing. As I say, go check out my previous video. I go through all the court highlights of how the judge has come to his decision. And I don't think a person in the world, unless they weren't one of your followers, would have ruled otherwise.
things that he said about that particular, let's say, subsection of the law were very unconvincing, and they will be appealed. I'm not going to reveal what I'm going to say, but I will be appealing them. And in fact, I don't think he's going to have a response.
Oh, he will have a response. It will be some additional court costs and saying, stop wasting my fucking time with this frivolous bullshit.
Essentially, it's not over.
Oh, it's not over. It's not over. And this is not just, look, you have to understand, when you go through a 2-year legal battle, now I am battle hardened. Now my solicitors are battle hardened. Now all of the solicitors.
What do you mean your solicitors are battle hardened? I mean, surely they should have experience in doing these cases. I mean, did you just hire some basic law firm, just some guy in the street handing out leaflets? Was it just basically your mate down at the mosque or something?
That are representing Muslim people are battle. Now we know this is what the mistake you can make. It's like a fight. We both compete in martial arts. So it's like we do grappling competitions all the time. Okay, this guy put me in a Kimura, or this guy put me in a guillotine. Okay. This is how I'm gonna avert it the next time.
Yeah.
You have to go through this, and the community must also be patient with this, frankly, because there's elements of the community who want activism to be done, who want us to go after these people who are perpetrators of multiple crimes. But when we do so, and sometimes we're unsuccessful with it, they're very impatient. Well, I'm sorry, but there's going to be moments like this, and we all have to be patient together.
Yeah, I mean, you talk about being patient, but what is this going to amount to? This is going to amount to, and maybe this is why you're doing this appeal, because you can spend the next few months now doing GoFundMe's and stuff like that to raise money for your legal team, etc., etc. And yeah, I think you're just going to ramp up the grifting. And I did a poll after my last video in a community post saying, like, what is your most likely way to deal with this debt? And I gave 4 options. The top option was for you to basically try and GoFundMe and e-beg your way out of it. And 2/3 of the people have voted for that. And it was the most likely option. And I think we're going to see that. Mark my words, in the next couple of months, this guy's grifting and e-begging is going to go through the damn roof.
And the Quran gives us this. It gives us this injunction. It gives us this, rabitu wa sabiru, be patient together, etc. And there's all kinds of verses.
And multiple examples from the Seerah as well.
Yeah.
Where the Muslims were treated badly and they had to be patient, and and again it doesn't represent the fact that they were upon falsehood. That's not what should be taken away from this whole thing.
This is hukm al-jahiliyyah anyway. This is man-made law. We believe that the ultimate law is the Quran and the Sunnah. Yeah,
you can believe that, but you're wrong. And it's just as man-made law as the British legal system is. Apart from the British legal system in general is much superior to anything that comes out of the Quran, because there is at least, in principle, some basic fairness that's going on there. You don't get special privileges because you're a Muslim going in front of a fucking Sharia court. And this is where some of the bitterness comes. It's like, oh, why don't we have this perfect legal system where the Muslims automatically are going to be on the winning end of things? Nah, you you just have to suck it up, mate. That's the way it is.
The full, blemishless, perfect, infallible law, which is ultimately true and is not susceptible to any mistake or anything like that, is the Quran.
Oh, yeah, really. It's funny how you found a loophole to have your alleged hotel wife, though. So it doesn't seem that perfect, does it? Not when it comes to treating women in any way decently.
And the Sunnah. We unabashedly, unapologetically say so.
Yeah, you say so and no one cares because it's obvious bollocks.
So if somebody using common law of the British system or any other country in the world look at something and they say something is unjust, I'm sorry, that's not a definitive moral statement, and we don't consider it as such.
Yeah, who gives a shit? It doesn't matter what you consider it. The point is, it's been made, and it's been made against you.
And I think, imagine even absolute worst case scenario, you get imprisoned for this sort of thing.
For contempt of court or anything like that, yeah.
It doesn't, again...
It's not a criminal trial. So, I mean, again, you made a civil trial. He talks about, oh, yeah, I've learned something. He doesn't know shit about the legal system. You've done a civil trial, okay? They're going to put you in prison. Even if you don't pay your debts, they'll do something like an enforcement order or something like that to take it out of your earnings. You're not going to go to prison over this. He has to make himself out to be such a fake martyr.
How many ulama got imprisoned?
Yeah.
Ibn Taymiyyah, Ahmed bin Hanbal.
Yeah.
It doesn't go to show that, or it doesn't prove that they were upon batil, that they were upon falsehood.
Yeah,
if anything, it's actually almost the contrary.
If they do that to me, they'll be doing me the greatest favor. I'm not going to lie to you, because it's making me into a historical figure. Okay.
You think you're going to be a historical figure as a Muslim going to prison? Yeah. It's not that uncommon, Mohammed. And to be fair, the only thing that you are historically is, as far as I can see, the biggest idiot in the country at the moment. I mean, it's like watching Monty Python and the Search for the Holy Grail. And it's an old film from the 80s, but anyone who's seen it, there's a scene in it with the Black Knight. Okay, King Arthur is fighting the Black Knight, and it's like this comedy thing. He keeps cutting off his arm, cuts off a leg. He ends up limbless, like a stump on the floor, and he keeps acting as if he's winning the fight. He's like, "Oh no, that's just a flesh wound." This is what it's like watching this guy. He thinks he's going to somehow salvage this situation, and he's basically the Black Knight in that movie. If you haven't seen it, go and find a clip on YouTube, because yeah, it's a great representation for this guy's mentality. He just doesn't know when he's beaten.
No, I'm not wishing for any. I'll be honest, I'm not wishing for that. But I'm saying that if they go that far, then it's a clear agenda, and it will be manifest to the society. Like, okay, well, now you.
Yeah. Big conspiracy theory. Everyone's out to get you, and you're the victim. I mean, it's so pathetic. But it's interesting though. His demeanor. This guy is obsessed with being bombastic and screaming and shouting in his videos. The truth is, look at how beaten down he is in this. Look at listen to how low his voice is. I mean, he knows he's fucked. And, this face-saving exercise just makes him look even more pathetic.
Bring someone in for something like that. But having said that, look, I mean, we're ready for anything. What Ibn Taymiyyah, you mentioned Ibn Taymiyyah, what he said is that, what can my enemy do to me?
Yeah.
That if you kill me, then you make me into a martyr. You make me into a shaheed. And if you put me in prison, If you kick me out of the land, then it's tourism for me.
Oh, please. I would love to see that. But again, we're talking about a civil case here, mate. You can't think you can lose your citizenship over a defamation case.
And if you put me into prison, then it's seclusion with Allah.
Tafakkur,
Yeah, so at the end of the day, you got to look at things in a positive way. And the same thing goes with this. Like, I look at this in a positive way. Like I said, I've learned from this. I've learned about the process. It's the first time I've done it. I'm not a lawyer, like, you know what I mean? Like,
No, but you had a lawyer, and they were obviously pretty crap if they thought that this was a decent case. How about get a proper legal representation? Because they would have told you, yeah, this isn't going to hold up, mate.
I don't derive my self-worth, as I'm sure you don't, whoever else, right? I do not derive my self-concept or my self-worth from my ability to win court cases.
Yeah.
I'm not a lawyer.
Just as well, really, just as well.
So if I win or lose court cases, that's in a sense outside of my jurisdiction. It's outside of my role. It's outside.
No, but it's not though, is it? You had the choice. It's not like you were taken to court. You took someone else to court. You instigated this shit, and you lost big time. That's a lesson you should be learning, but you won't.
Of my abilities.
How many court cases have there been whereby the person who was actually completely guilty managed to get off completely scot-free? Why? Because he had a fantastic solicitor, and because of legal loopholes or what have you.
Exactly.
Yeah, but that's not the case here. The evidence condemns you.
Exactly.
And it goes back to that point you were saying about man-made law. Right?
Yeah.
Man-made law. I
man-made
mean, obviously...
It's man-made law.
Well, to be fair, like even supposedly, I mean, even in Islamic law, right? You're not supposed to be lying, are you? You've been definitively shown to have lied in this court case. So you would be condemned even under your Islamic system.
Yeah, it is what it is, isn't it? It is what it is. We'll go back to the thing that we normally frequently get to in da'wah, which is objective truth and subjective truth.
Absolutely.
And man-made law is
subjective.
Undoubtedly subjective. It's not divine.
No, yours is just as subjective as anything else, but the evidence was it was as closer to objective as it could be. As I say, I went through the highlights of the court judgment. You were banged to rights.
Yeah, it's not. No, it's not.
But you know, it is what it is.
It is what it is, and I'm glad that we covered this point because, do you know what? I'll be honest. One thing I would say about this as well is I was quite surprised. Okay, well, I was surprised at the amount of right-wing newspapers that came out speaking about this. Telegraph came out, the Spectator came out again, 2 or 3.
Well, of course, the Spectator came out. They would have won to fucking sued, and you lost. What, you think they're not going to write an article saying this idiot tried to sue us and he lost big time? And as for the Telegraph, yeah, because you also threatened them with a court case. I have no idea what happened with that one. But yeah, of course they're going to write about it.
I think 2 or 3 different articles. Jewish Chronicle came out. The Independent as well. Are you sure?
Sorry, the Telegraph.
The Telegraph. I don't.
Well, the Independent isn't a right-wing newspaper, but anyway.
There are so many of them that came out. Even in India, some of them came out. Do you know what I mean? Do you know the headline is, Mohammed Hijab loses in a court.
Sounds factually correct to me.
Or judge finds Mohammed Hijab, whatever the headline may be, right? Who is Mohammed Hijab that you've made him so important? Like, think of the following, right? You know, if somebody here, local imam, and these guys are better than I am, you know, more knowledgeable and mashallah in this area or any other area. But I'm just saying for the sake of local imam loses a defamation case. It's not going to make the news.
Yeah, but it's obviously a little different to that because outside of the internet culture, you aren't really going to be that well known, certainly outside of Muslim circles. But the point is, yeah, you do have a lot of following online. You are well known amongst Muslims. And the fact is, this court case showed that you were trying to whip up and instigate trouble with both Hindus and Jews on separate occasions. So, of course, there may be some interest from the majority Jewish country and a majority Hindu country where you are trying to stir this shit up. I mean, it really isn't that much of a, surprise. Yes, you do have a big online presence amongst Muslims. So, yeah, why is this a big surprise to you?
Why have you guys spent £1 million, more than $1 million? I don't know how much you spent on me. Why are you celebrating this victory?
Yeah, Well, no, they obviously spent £670,000 on you, didn't they? Because that's the court cost you've got. And why did they do it? Because you took them to court. They had no choice, did they? They had to defend it. You're acting like they came out and sued you, you fucking idiot.
Because you consider me to be a significant opponent. And in fact,
no, because you took a court case against them. They had no choice.
That's flattering to me. I'm sorry to say it might sound narcissistic, egotistical.
No, it's fucking delusional. You're that delusional. If you start a court case, they have to defend themselves. I mean, this is just pathetic as a coping session. It really is. I mean, this is what you have to come up with in your mind to try and justify this massive loss. That somehow you were really important. No, you sued them. So they defended themselves and you lost. It's that simple.
Oh, he's an egomaniac, he's a narcissist, he's saying that. But all you're doing by doing this, you're overcompensating this much, is you're assuring me of my own self-worth. Going back to the point.
So you get your self-worth by making a frivolous lawsuit, losing it, getting a massive court cost, and then people writing articles mocking you for it. That gives you a sense of self-worth. I mean, you sound like a masochist on top of everything else.
So he's so important that you needed RPC. Yeah, RPC, one of the biggest law firms in the country, with one of the biggest revenues in the country, and this much budget. You know, some of the greatest probably lawyers in the country, like Greg Callis and this.
Oh yeah, the man who knows nothing about the legal system knows all these details for sure about this law firm, and suddenly they're the greatest lawyers in the country. Again, trying to manufacture this David versus Goliath thing. No, they obviously hired a decent lawyer, and you got smacked.
I forgot the other guy's name. Mark Lewis, I think his name was, or Bennett something. Whatever their names are. You know, and they were very good, and they knew all the points and everything. It's excellent.
No, it goes to show that you're.
My goodness, he hired a lawyer that was competent and took you to pieces. Maybe you should learn from that.
Dawah has an impact.
The dawah and my dawah has an impact only because the people watching this at home have allowed that to be the case. And that's why I'm very grateful to the Muslim community. I want to say this. Without the Muslim community who have given me the platform, who have stood by my side and have been patient with me.
Supported you.
And supported me. And we've supported you. It's been reciprocal, but we are brothers, you know.
Yeah, and you're going to be asking for a lot more support. And you can see it like, you know, lathering them up now, you know, giving all this praise to the Muslim community, because he's going to be asking for money every single day from now on. So he's going to butter you up for it.
We are in a fraternity together. Me and the Muslim community, we have been able to, in the English speaking, in the Arabic speaking, in the world really, create something.
Yeah, all the Dawah scene has done is create a horrible mess where you've made the reputation of Islam be as low as it possibly can be, where you stir up trouble between Muslims and other communities, where you try and get Muslims to basically take on the worst kind of Salafist, Wahhabist version of Islam, so that it creates even more tensions in the country. That's what you've achieved, nothing more. You're an agent of chaos. That's what you are.
And we'll continue doing that. We're building people. And that's why it's important. I want to probably end here as well. That don't put all your eggs in one or two baskets. We need more than one die, two dies, three. We need to create so many dies so that if one of them goes down, if they put one in prison or kill one of them, that the others...
Are you going to be killed now over a defamation case? Is this the implication?
The other one's there. This is part of the reason why I brought Ahmed Al-Basuni.
No, you bought this no-named guy because even it seems like the likes of Ali Dawa and Smalta Jannah, where are they? I don't think they want to be associated with you right now, because I think even they recognize that you look terrible this whole year, but even now trying to make a cope. So you've got some random nobody who I think has been on one previous video of yours, and you're going to promote it because no one else wants to sit in that chair with you, Mo.
After, you know, because, you know, he's starting his own platform, and I attest that he's an excellent asset as well, inshallah. We started together, and I want people...
Yeah, I mean, look at how happy this guy looks to be sitting there. He looks fucking thrilled, doesn't he, to be next to Mohammed Hijab at this moment. I mean, this desperation.
My job now is to make sure that if I'm not around, other people can carry the torch. And you've got your handle, we're going to put it in the description. So
Ahmed_Al-Basuni.
I'm sure people are going to be, after this, I think after this, they're going to be going to your Instagram, is it?
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
YouTube, everything. And look, we need to have so many dies. They have, look, sorry to put it this way, Akhi. How many pornographers do they have?
Who's they? Are you talking about like the entire non-Muslim world now? Or we just sitting there making pornographers? What the hell's he on about?
People that engage in pornography. Is there ever, we have enough dies? Is there ever a time where they say, well, we've got enough, like, what's that thing called that they pay monthly for?
Subscription?
Is it the sexual my something? What's it? I forget what's it called.
OnlyFans.
OnlyFans.
Oh yeah, like you didn't know what OnlyFans was. This pretends that he doesn't know. But actually, there was somebody left a comment actually under the poll which I did about what he's going to do to do his debts, and somebody did put that he would start an OnlyFans account, which I thought was a great. Unfortunately, I didn't put that as an option, but I can't remember who wrote that comment. But props to whoever left that comment because that did make me laugh. Could you imagine a job OnlyFans account?
They never say, oh, we have enough OnlyFans models.
No.
They never say, oh, we have enough pornography actors. They never say we have enough actors, actresses. They never say we have enough musicians. They never say but we, for some reason, have to say, oh, we have enough dies now. We don't.
Yeah, we do. We have more than enough of you Dawa clowns going around essentially spreading your toxic message of, basically everyone's against Muslims and, you can't integrate into modern society. You can't give up all this nonsense about child marriage and all these other toxic beliefs. No, we have enough of you guys. And particularly here in the UK, particularly in London, it's infested with the negativity that you guys bring. So, yeah, we don't need any more of you.
Don't have enough dies. We need du'at from every country using social media, because number one, if we get taken out, number two, if we make mistakes, personal mistakes,
or personal mistakes like the hotel wife,
sins, mishaps, whatever it may be, and people no longer have the trust in us that they once did, or whatever it may be. So sometimes we can be falsely accused of things.
And sometimes the accusations are true.
And still, people are no longer... We need a group of people, bro, so that the dawah can spread with different personalities, different temperaments, different dispositions, and different language. And this part of my life, akhi, that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to bring new people in.
Yeah, you're trying to do a Hamza Sortz's, which basically, for those who don't know, Hamza Sortz's was kind of, he started off a lot of this crap 15 years ago in the UK with all these Dawa guys. And after several public humiliations, he basically stepped to the side and has become like a shadowy figure where most of the time he's just trying to bring in new people. I think Mohammed Hijab is starting to realize that he's damaged his own brand so badly, he's probably going to have to pull the same maneuver, which will be great on the one hand, so we won't have to see him, but it'd be terrible for my channel because I really love the content. I get some good views on this stuff.
I'm trying to, because I sense that they're coming for me, bro. And I've said this. I told these people, I told everybody when the alleged Elon Musk threats came. I told them.
So there we go. I mentioned in my last video, didn't I, about this stupid Elon Musk threat. Again, it just goes into this conspiracy theory. He can't just look at it as like, I lost the court case because it was stupid and I lied. It's like, no, there's a conspiracy out there for me to be killed and Elon Musk is in on it. And you wonder why people call you a narcissist and delusional.
Elon Musk came and said, I'm going to be funding Tommy Robinson for his legal battles. He knows full well that one of the legal battles is against me.
Yeah.
I doubt that Elon Musk knows who the hell you are. Why would he? So, I mean, this is just a figment of your own imagination.
I can't tell you that me as a working class, West London guy, I'm going to be able to stand up to all of that in a court of law and beat these guys because I just don't have the technical knowledge for it.
Oh, well, look, let me tell you, as a South London working class guy, I wouldn't have made the stupid mistakes that you do. I wouldn't have gone to court and lied over and over again. You don't have to have amazing technical knowledge to realize those basic things.
Without the people watching at home and without our diligent work, we can't do anything. But the point to be noted is we have to spread the dawah and have many different dawah figures so that if one goes down, there's so many other figures and so many other people that people can take knowledge from and benefit from, inshallah.
Well, yeah, look, if you want us to play whack-a-mole, we will. Each one, you come up, you lie, you do all sorts of shady behavior, you get exposed, and yeah, you have to shuffle off into the corner. And if we got to keep doing that one by one, we're going to keep doing it, because I'm going nowhere, and there's many other people with far bigger channels than me that aren't going anywhere. So yeah, bring it on, mate, and we'll just deal with you one at a time. There will be another Mohammed Hijab video on a different topic, which I should have up over the weekend. So we're going to make it a full week of Mohammed Hijab this week. I hope you've all enjoyed. I will see you in the next one.